All right, hello everybody. Thank you for joining. I am Riley with the T Storm Chasers, and we're going to take a look at your forecast. But before we do, here is a brief word from our sponsors at Cube Portable Storage.
What are you doing?
Decluttering?
Moving? Remodeling? In need of temporary storage, emergency cleanup, or just need to declutter? Cube Portable Storage has the perfect solution. Rent your Cube Portable Storage container today.
And don't forget, they got roll-off dumpsters for the other stuff. Call Cube Storage for all your moving needs.
Afternoon, everyone. We are back here for this afternoon's weather video. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Taking a look firstly at your winter weather headlines, and we have a lot of them to get to. First off, I want to acknowledge that out in western South Dakota, where we have the high wind warning that was in effect, that has actually been allowed to expire very recently. Within the past half hour, they have canceled that high wind warning out in western South Dakota. So good news there. That is great news. And so western South Dakota, you guys are now in the clear from this activity. But the high wind warning continues for central and eastern South Dakota, as well as central and eastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, southwest Minnesota. High wind warning remains in effect here. So as we read this off, it does say northwest winds of 30 to 40 with gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and we have seen that today. And this high wind warning is in effect until 9 p.m. Central Time this evening. Damaging winds blowing down tree branches, scattered power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. And then we also have the area shaded in blue. That is where we have the winter weather advisory that is in effect for east central South Dakota and northern Iowa and Minnesota. Actually, all of Minnesota is included. So this does include Sioux Falls still. Let's take a look at what it says here. Winter weather advisory. So Sioux Falls is in the high wind warning and the winter weather advisory. It says snow and blowing snow, additional snow accumulations up to a half an inch. So basically a trace to an inch of snow. Winds gusting again 50 to 60 miles per hour. And blowing snow across the area until 6 p.m. this evening. So this advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. this evening. And it does say plan on slippery road conditions. Areas of blowing snow can significantly reduce visibility. Hazardous conditions impacting this evening's commute. Strong winds can also cause tree damage. And then we also have this up in the northeastern corner of South Dakota into northwestern Minnesota and eastern North Dakota. This area in gray, we actually have a blizzard warning that remains in effect here for Marshall, Day, and Roberts County in South Dakota. Includes Webster, Sisseton, and Britton. And so let's read this off for you. Blizzard conditions continue with winds gusting as high as 60 miles per hour. This is until 6 p.m. this evening, so another 4 hours. Roads, especially bridges and underpasses, will likely become slick and hazardous. Visibilities may drop below a quarter of a mile due to falling and blowing snow. So whiteout conditions are going to be expected, and we've already seen that up in that area. Making travel treacherous and potentially life-threatening. Plan on the slippery road conditions. Ground blizzards are also going to be possible, and they create whiteout conditions that make travel extremely dangerous or impossible. And the hazardous conditions impacting this evening's commute. So you guys need to be paying attention to this, need to be alert, as this is a pretty dangerous situation, especially up in northeastern South Dakota, where we have that blizzard warning. So again, a lot of this activity is going to die out as we go throughout the rest of today. Like I said, 6 p.m. is when these are expected to all expire. So we're going to jump to what's next in the forecast and look at a couple of other items. But first, let's hear a brief word from today's sponsor at CE Construction.
From roofing to siding, CE Construction is setting the standard across North and South Dakota. Our expert team delivers quality, durability, and trust on every project. CE Construction, Dakotans helping Dakotans with their roofing and siding needs. Call or visit us online.
Okay, so this was a map I showed this morning, and it looks about the same, but it looks a little bit better. We have the power outages that were going on last night and this morning across western South Dakota with those extreme winds. We had a 100-mile-per-hour wind in Rapid City last night and in Mud Butte, South Dakota. So we had two separate reports of 100-mile-per-hour winds out in western South Dakota. We had additional wind gusts. Wind gusts were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s as well. So we had some very, very strong winds last night and this morning out in western South Dakota. And as a result, a lot of power outages. We had up to 28,000 at one point this morning. And now the number has slowly gone down. We are down to 19,000, just shy of 20,000 customers without power in South Dakota, in western South Dakota. Mainly Pennington County, over 11,000 out of power. Lawrence County, over 2,000. Meade County, almost 500. Hawken County of 34. Custer County, over 5,000 without power yet. And Fall River County, 360. So mainly Pennington and Custer counties there in South Dakota, where we have a lot of power outages that remain across our area. All right, so jump into the weather map future cast here. Taking a look at the future radar, and you can see the snow moves out of here. Any kind of snow that we have left is going to continue to move east into Minnesota as we go throughout the rest of the day. And we did have some snow earlier across eastern South Dakota. Now, things will clear out, and then we'll get a break, and then tomorrow we're looking at the potential for more rain/snow mix across western South Dakota and northern South Dakota. And as you can see, rain/snow will be possible tomorrow and into tomorrow night. And then Saturday, things will clear on out, and we will look ahead to dry things out and turn mild again. As you can see, this weekend, we are not seeing much of anything. And same thing on Sunday. And Monday, not seeing anything. Tuesday, very quiet. Wednesday, quiet. And then Christmas, your Christmas forecast looking dry as well. So basically, after tomorrow, we're looking at a dry forecast for pretty much everyone in our region, the Quad State area. It'll be quiet. We'll warm up into mild weather, and we'll dry things out and get a break from Old Man Winter. All right, so as we look at the wind gust map here, again, we had the very strong wind gusts last night and this morning out west, and then it moved east, and we are still dealing with the very strong wind gusts in the eastern part of South Dakota into Nebraska, Minnesota, Iowa. But as we go through the rest of today, the winds will finally start to die down as we go throughout the evening hours. Into the overnight hours, the wind will die down, and we will see that fade away, and it'll be a wrap on what has been a extremely windy day yesterday, last night, and today of weather. And we also had a lot of damage out in western South Dakota as well, a lot of tree damage and a lot of branches down. And don't take my word for it. You can look it up yourself. You can go to social media and look at all the photos that are out there of damage out in western South Dakota. And so as we wrap things up with your 10-day for Sioux Falls, again, cold today, windy, but then tomorrow we'll clear things out. It will not be windy tomorrow. I don't know why it shows that, but it is not supposed to be windy tomorrow. We're looking at low 30s for a high tomorrow. And then as we head towards your weekend, it'll be turning slightly warmer into the low to mid 30s and not seeing any moisture in the forecast. And then next week, warming up into the 40s, and your Christmas outlook looks really nice, really mild. Temperatures in the mid 40s. Looks like a very nice Christmas forecast. However, comes with the catch, there most likely won't be snow by the time we get towards Christmas, as most of the snow is going to be melted, as a lot of it's already melted. We see a lot of grass out there. There's only snow patches now. For the Aberdeen area, we are looking at cold temperatures as we head into tomorrow as well. And your weekend forecast also looks cold with temperatures in the 20s. but we'll warm up next week into the 30s and not seeing any systems or any moisture. For the Pierre area, we're looking at a warmer forecast and mid-40s tomorrow, and then mid-30s on Saturday, and then we'll warm back up into the 40s next week. And it looks like a very nice Christmas forecast for Pierre. I think Pierre could hit 50 degrees. Overnight lows in the 20s and 30s, and once again, not seeing any kind of systems. For the Rapid City area, we're looking at a warm 7-day and a warm 10-day forecast. Low 60s tomorrow, and then we'll cool down a little bit for your weekend into the 40s, but then we'll warm back up into the 50s to low 60s next week. And your Christmas forecast looks really nice. Temperatures in the mid-50s. Going to be a really nice forecast for Rapid City. So this is sponsored by the Black Venom Outdoors and the Gatekeeper Security and Fence. We'd like to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there, staying warm, and make sure and follow us on Facebook and X. That is where we will be providing all the updates that you need, and we will be very active on those. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and drop a comment down below if you did enjoy this video. Thank you for watching.